Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
For the second time this morning, welcome into the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We sincerely apologize for the technical difficulties that has made us 46 minutes late here on a Friday. Big show to get into. We're going to dive into it, but Ant, first, before we get into our topics, who's our title sponsor?
Yeah, guys, this episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year.
Before we dive into topics, I want to give my dad a shout-out. He won his Senior League Volleyball Tournament championship, their volleyball league. Yeah. Second time in 3 years, so shout-out to my dad. Shout-out to the Monmouth Rugby Volleyball team. Nice. We'd love to give you more time, Pops. We got a whole show to get to and not enough time to do it. So, guys, let's just dive into our first topic here. We'll start with the Quinshon Judkins legal update. Last night, we learned that Broward County and the state attorney's office has declined to press charges and move forward in their investigation against Quinshon Judkins for domestic violence, domestic assault. I forget what the exact terminology was on the case. Essentially, what the state attorney's office said was the defendant had multiple opportunities to report prior to when she did, and there were some conflicting videos that showed her during the time span between when the alleged assault happened and when she actually reported it that didn't match up with the injuries and the initial pictures they got. So they decided not to push forward in terms of the legal proceedings. However, the NFL is still investigating this situation, Jason, and there is no word yet when that investigation may be finished and or what Quinshon Judkins' future is in the immediate aftermath for the Cleveland Browns. As it stands right now, he is still not signed. He is still not with the team, and I'm curious how what happened in Florida from the legal side impacts his current situation with the Browns.
I would believe that this would clear the way for him to
Jason, put your mic on.
It is on.
Don't you dare tell me we're having audio issues.
It's on.
Don't you dare tell me we're having audio issues right now.
Can you hear me now? Are we good? Hello?
I'm so sorry. I'm ready to kill it.
Mike, you're good. G, give me a mic then.
G Bush in the building. Is that good? We good? All right.
I'm hearing you, G.
All right, cool.
It's just me. I'll talk into G's mic.
Yeah, get closer.
Can we bring the fourth mic out?
So we'll continue.
This is embarrassing. I'm sorry.
We'll continue to talk.
So, G, what do you think about this Quinshon Judkins situation?
Listen, I think this opens the door for him to finally get back into the mix and at least get signed. I wouldn't be doing jumping jacks because we all know how the NFL works. There's always a two-track progress here. So, yes, the legal stuff looks like they're not going to, bring any charges or do things like that. But that doesn't necessarily acquit him of what the NFL is going to do in their investigation. So we've seen this kind of with Deshaun Watson. He's settled the cases outside of it, but yet and still the NFL came back and he eventually got an 11-game suspension. So I look at it as something where now I think the Browns will be able to start contract negotiations and we'll see where that leads. But I think what ends up eventually happening is the league will start to look at it if they have not already been investigating or coming up with their information from the whole process. And then, they're going to still handle him as the NFL does in-house, and they'll do their own investigation, McNuggets.
You look at the Mike Hall situation last year. Those charges were dropped. He still got suspended a few games. Deshaun Watson never got charged officially, never criminally indicted. And he obviously got suspended 6 games, then 11 games. So just because Florida and Broward County and the state attorney's office isn't going forward in their criminal investigation, it does not take Quinshon Judkins off the hook from potential punishment from the NFL. There's kind of a standard and a precedent set that if the NFL has a less burden of proof, they can still make a suspension. Jason, I think that's what you were going to say.
Yeah, the NFL can still do whatever it wants to do, and the NFL can still – the NFL isn't
tied to the U.S. Constitution and the laws that we have in place. They can sort of make it up as they go along, and if they feel like something happened, they can still suspend them.
I do think regardless, the fact that there is not going to be further legal action taken against Quinshon expedites the process to get him back into the building, because Cleveland said we weren't going to sign him, we're not going to touch this situation until his legal issues were resolved. Now at least that half of it's resolved. They can bring him in, I hope sooner rather than later, get him back acclimated into their training program, get him back acclimated into the playbook, because regardless of whether he gets suspended or not, whenever he does get on the field for the Cleveland Browns, I think we're all in agreement. He's going to be their workhorse. He's going to be their bell cow back, and it's an offense that needs as much juice as it can possibly get.
What's the fallout from this? How quickly? I think there are some people moving around, and people that are kind of kind of tired of the, just the stories with domestic violence and just off the field issues. How long does this linger with fans? Is this something where he comes out, if he plays and he plays well, they're like, oh, what happened with that? Or is this something that that could stick with him for a longer period of time?
I mean, it always comes down to how well you play. How well you play is how quickly you're forgiven. And it's not necessarily the way it should be, but that's just the reality of how it is. When you play well, nobody cares.
Listen, if another player had the allegations against Deshaun and they weren't a superstar quarterback at the time, they're not getting a $230 million contract. They're not getting traded for 3 first-round picks. They're probably never playing in the NFL again.
Yeah, the talent level is always going to put you in a position where, especially when you're the Cleveland Browns, where you're devoid of talent and you're trying to win. And that always gets me. Like, in regular jobs, like you can find somebody in accounting. Regular jobs, hey, listen, you're working operations. Like, I could get somebody with that. But when you talk about the tippy top 1%, and my job is based on performance and what we do, it's very difficult for general managers and coaches not to say, well, listen, I want to put them on the field. I have to, because that's my standard. That's the burden that I have to be a coach or GM. So, it's disappointing sometimes to hear it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is.
And had Deshaun played well, there wouldn't be nearly the vitriol against him.
Nope.
But had Cleveland gotten the Houston version, the healthy version, had he lived up to what the expectations were, there wouldn't be nearly the amount of animosity against him as what there is now.
We got to get to a lot of stuff and not a lot of time today, so we're going to move on after I ask you guys this question. Quinshon still not signed by the Monday of the first actual week of the season, so the Monday after Labor Day. Will Quinshon have signed his contract and be in the building with the Browns, yes or no?
By Labor Day?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he will.
Yeah, this clears the path. I also think that he'll have some sort of suspension by Labor Day as well. As soon as he signs the deal, I think the league will start to move the wheels on that a little bit.
All in agreement. And let's get a read in before we move on to our next topic.
Yeah, guys, I want to remind everybody that this episode is presented by Yahoo Fantasy. Fantasy football is back. Fire up the group chat and get your draft board ready, and buckle up for a season filled with breakouts, busts, and all the overreactions that we live for. It's all going down on Yahoo Fantasy. This year, UCSS is back on Yahoo Fantasy, and you should be too, whether you're a first-timer or a veteran making it your millionth league. Yahoo Fantasy's user interface is my favorite. I love it more than all the other fantasy apps. And to celebrate 28 years of fantasy greatness, Yahoo is dropping 28 big new features over 28 days, giving you more ways to play, more ways to draft, and more ways to win. And it all begins on August 4th. So stay tuned and get started by creating or joining a Yahoo Fantasy Football League at yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. That's yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. And let's make this fantasy season the best one yet.
So a few minutes after the Quinshon Judkins news came out yesterday, Adam Schefter popped up on all of our Twitter feeds and said, undrafted free agent wide receiver Isaiah Bond had been no-billed in his sexual assault case going back to Texas. Bond, if you guys remember, was a highly touted prospect coming out of Texas. Most draft analysts had him with a top 100 grade. These sexual assault charges came up about 2.5 weeks before the draft. He ends up going undrafted, and then just moments later, Bond put out a statement by himself on social media thanking the Cleveland Browns, thanking Jimmy Haslam, thanking Andrew Berry, and essentially announced he was signing with the Cleveland Browns. Now, Mary Kay and other reporters have said he is not officially signed, but if you were to read that letter that you see on the screen, I know it's in tiny font and it's really small, he literally calls out the Browns, thanks Mr. Haslam, thanks Andrew Berry for their patience and their understanding with the situation. So all indications are that he will sign with the Browns. G. Bush, I know Bond was a guy you had quite some interest in pre-draft. We had a topic on would you draft him with these concerns, and you were the only one at the time that said, give me the best players on the field, and he would have been one of the best guys in the round if the Browns went, you said third round. But in hindsight now, he's officially been no build. That means no charges are coming. Are you a fan of this move?
Look, I always tell people like this. There's a process in the National Football League where they're going to look at your merits on whatever you do off the field. There's a process in the United States of America where they're going to look at the merits of a case and see whether or not they can indict you or bring any charges. Where it was at, they decided not to bring any charges, just like Quinshon Judkins. The NFL has a different burden of proof, and so they'll probably investigate him, look at what happened in the case, and they'll extrapolate and decide whether they're going to give him a suspension or not. In terms of the optics of it, I mean, yeah, it's not. It's kind of. I was just laughing and joking about it because at the end of the day, we want to talk about football. So I try to keep it as lighthearted as possible in a situation where it's kind of serious. But it was almost like the Browns was like, listen, well, they let Judkins off. So, I mean, we might get killed for this for a couple of days. We might as well go ahead and sneak this other joint right under the rug and just had it kill two birds with one stone. Like, let's just go ahead and make a move. And for me, this is just how. And I want to just tell people, the NFL has signified something. Let me just tell y'all something right now. The NFL has signified something that says, if you are looking for us to be your moral compass, this is not the place to be, because we're going to show you that we are in this as to win, and we want the best players. If they didn't convict you, if you ain't going to jail, I'll tell you like this: somebody is going to sign Henry Ruggs. I'm gonna just let y'all know right now. And unfortunately, in the Henry Ruggs situation, somebody lost their life.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You can't come back from that. So when we watch these things take place, and there's gambling going over here, and then there's domestic violence, I always tell people, and I always try to let them know, listen, guys, this ain't the pantheon in which you want to just get your role models from. This isn't where you want to take your moral stands, because at the end of the day, this is a stone cold business. I look at what happened to Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb ain't never did nothing to nobody. He couldn't play no more in their eyes. He's on to another team. This is just what the thing is, and at the end of the day, Browns made a decision because they have no receivers, and he's fast. He was going to be a mid-round pick. And guess what? They saw the value. They took him.
Jason?
The Browns, Jimmy Haslam has tried to spend his way to a championship 4 years. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Nobody spends more. Nobody wants to win more than Jimmy Haslam. But the Browns have a culture problem. Can we agree on that?
Oh, yeah.
This is why. This is why they have a culture problem. Because they keep doing stuff like this. There's a mark against him, against Isaiah. Regardless of what he did or didn't do, there's a mark against him. And if he is innocent, then I feel sorry for him. But the Browns cashed all their chips in on Deshaun, and they got no return on it. The Browns keep selling their credibility, and they keep selling their soul on junk bonds. And this is what you get. So what has been, for all these chances they've taken on guys, what's been the payoff for it? Where's the big benefit been?
Josh Gordon.
What'd you get out of it?
1
year.
Great season. Yeah.
1 year. Kareem Hunt. He, for the most part, he kept himself in line after he got here. But did he have a major impact on winning when he was here? Really? Did he?
He helped, but he's not the main reason.
He had a couple decent, like Freddie Kitchens actually did the best job figuring out how to use Nick Chubb and
Yeah,
Kareem
the
Hunt together.
the run game was pretty dynamic when he was here. He was, but I guess your point is they didn't win no Super Bowl.
Did he impact winning at a high
Yeah,
level?
they didn't win no Super Bowl.
So what have they gotten for all of these chances? There are franchises who have earned the right to take chances on guys with a checkered past. The Browns are not one of them.
Baltimore is one of them.
I mean, yeah, Baltimore. There are the Patriots back when Tom was there. There are franchises who, when they elevate themselves to a certain level, when they win at a certain level, when they act like adults, when they are professionals about how they go about doing their business, you earn the opportunity to take advantage on maybe one or two guys with a checkered past. The Browns just take them all. And what has been the payoff? And I guess I'm a little annoyed because I turned my head on the Deshaun thing against all the allegations against him because I understood why they did it. I've said it 100 times. They needed a franchise quarterback. They didn't think the one they had was good enough. They saw an opportunity to go out and get a guy who never becomes available, and they said, we're going to go for it. And they gave up the house, the farm, the cars. They gave up all of it, and it blew up in their face. And when you sell your soul so many times, you get nothing to show for it. It's like, why are we doing this? Why? And you put your fans in a terrible position of having to choose, and they don't care. They don't care. If they cared, I'm pro-dome. I think the dome's a great idea. D. Haslam came out and said, we want to do what's in the best interest of the fans. If you want to do what's in the best interest of the fans, why didn't you put it on the ballot? Why didn't you give the fans a voice in this? Because you knew it was going to fail, and you did it anyway. And that's the problem I have. That's the frustration that I have with it, is they keep doing this over and over and over. This is why they have a culture problem, because they keep taking chances on guys like this, and they never get the payoff for it, because they are not an organization that is built or able to withstand it. And so they just keep doing this over and over and over again. Had they hit on some of these receivers that they've drafted and that they've traded for over the years, they wouldn't have to do this. But because they keep missing in the draft, they have to take chances like this. And I don't put this on Barry. This is Jimmy Haslam. This is your organization. What are you going to stand for? What are you going to stand for? You've already shown what you stood for. And by the way, all the women who work for you, you've now put them in another uncomfortable position. And there's a lot of them. And now they have to go through this all over again.
I have a couple thoughts on this, and I'm not sure I go as far as you or as opposite end as G. I look at it as, if the Browns were worried about losing fans due to them signing players with questionable pasts, anyone who hadn't left after Deshaun Watson, they're here forever. Like, they're not leaving. Nothing's going to change that. So I use the analogy before the show. If you're going to cheat on your diet, don't have a munchkin.
Yeah.
Go to Mitchell's and get a damn ice cream.
Go all the
cake.
way in.
Don't have a little nibble of a piece of pizza. Eat the whole damn pie. If you're okay as an organization with the allegations from Deshaun and what happened with Mike Hall, and even before with Malik McDowell and some of the other guys, Perrion Winfrey, all these characters that have had issues and run-ins, domestic violence, domestic assault, all that stuff, then Isaiah Bond's not changing anyone's opinion. An undrafted free agent who, I don't even know all the details of the case, I'm not going to pretend to know, got no build in a situation like that. They're just, at this point, they're just saying, screw it, we need players. What cures all that? Winning. If this guy can turn into a good player, everyone will forget the past. My issue more with anything else is, I don't think Isaiah Bond's that good, guys. I know he had a top 100-ish draft grade, but this was the guy that after Alabama lost to Michigan in the college football playoff 2 years ago, asked Nick Saban for a raise the day after that game. And you know what Nick Saban did 3 days later? Retired. He never named Isaiah Bond as the player that led him to say, this just isn't for me anymore, but you could add the pieces together. I'm not sure if it's exactly that plus that, 1 + 1 = 2, but it certainly doesn't help. He went to Texas, expected to be, he was one of the top transfers in the entire country. He was their third receiver. He was fine. He put up decent numbers. He's fast as hell. Ran a 4.39 40. Like,
check.
Dude could run. He's got questionable hands. Not a great catch radius. He's a little undersized. I didn't love him as a prospect. I don't necessarily love taking the flyer on this, but I also understand why the Browns are doing it, because they're just throwing their hands up and saying, we've already dipped our toes in.
That's what I said after Deshaun. That's exactly what I said. I understand why they did it, because they didn't have a quarterback that they believed in, and where did it get them?
I look at it like this. I guess I'm a little more cynical at this point. Like, there is no. I tell this to the people all the time. Nowadays, where we are in society, we are entrenched in whatever tribe we are in. It don't matter. It goes down the line. When you put colors on and jerseys on, it is, and I understand what Jason's saying, because this becomes your identity. That's why people get upset, because they're saying, I don't morally agree with that, but you're doing something that is opposite of what I believe in. But when I put the Browns colors on, I believe this is me. This is my identity. It's part of my collective group, how we think, our ideology. But at this point, I think that the NFL and business owners, in exactly what they are, they've come up with and understand that it doesn't matter if that is your ideology and that is your new religion, and you will support your team through come hell or high water. They came up and finally realized that it doesn't matter where the names go. The names come, they come and go. But the colors and the city and where you at, it stays forever. Yep. So everything is a short-term answer. So if they say, okay, we might take a couple hits in the summertime, but guess what? When these games come on, how many packages is they going to drop? How many jerseys is we not going to sell? Right? We got, like, they're not, we are who we are. Like, yeah, we miss Nick Chubb and we miss other people, but guess what? They made the decision that this is a business, and more than anything, we appeal to people's need, want, and willingness to win at all costs. And that is the calculus.
If Isaiah Bond goes out and becomes a 1,000-yard receiver and a legitimate weapon for the Browns, no one is going to care what happened in his pre-draft process.
That's exactly right. It's exactly what we just talked about with Deshaun 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago.
And if he doesn't, and he doesn't pan out and never turns into a player, it's going to be another black mark on the Browns front. And I'm not putting it just on Barry. It's on the entire front office. Right. Ownership on down to the lowest person in the front office. Another black mark on a guy that they tried and took a swing on and frankly missed. And then we could go back and say, was the juice really worth the squeeze when we first made the move? And so far, to your point earlier, Jason, they haven't hit on any of these guys.
Perrion Winfrey, Malik McDowell, Deshaun.
Mike Hall's too early to
Mike Hall. Yeah.
Quinshon Judkins, at this point, he could turn out to be really good, but there's no return from that yet either.
Even with Judkins and Hall, they were here before. I put them in a separate category because they had drafted them and then they get in trouble and whatever. When you actively pursue guys who have these marks against them.
But Hall had them coming out of college. Judkins had the clean slate.
He had a sketchy past.
Yeah.
But the one that, I mean, the incident that we all are referring to from last year, at least he was already in the building. Yeah, you took a chance on him, but nothing in his past had escalated to the level of what we saw wind up in court last year. And same thing with Judkins, where you take the guy and then this happens. Okay, well, now what do you do? He's already in the building. When you pursue the guys who have these marks against them and you invite them in and you don't get a return on that, what are we doing here? And they keep doing it over and over and over again.
You know what's crazy before we move on? If on March 15th, a month before the draft, I told any Browns fan that by the end of the draft, the Browns were going to end up with Mason Graham, Shedeur Sanders, Quinshon Judkins, Isaiah Bond, Carson Schlesinger, Harold Fannin, and Dylan Sampson, we would have said absolute home run, slam dunk, hole in one. You make all the stupid sports analogies you want that aren't football, touchdown.
Yeah.
That is a grand win. And I even mentioned the quarterback they took before Shedeur Sanders, by the way. How they got there is certainly a lot different than how
I love their draft. Like we did the regrade the draft, after the Judkins thing. My grade didn't change. I thought it was a great draft.
Yeah.
I just think this is completely unnecessary. Yes, their receiver room is lacking. That's your own fault because you can't draft and you can't develop.
And by the way, Deontay Johnson apparently has fallen off a cliff in the last 2 weeks of camp and is I think legit in jeopardy of not making this roster. So.
Hey, listen, man. I will say this. There's always, if those guys turn out to be good,
it don't matter.
It's funny. It can go from the worst to people saying this is the draft that got people extensions. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I've never seen that much give between. It's fascinating. We'll see.
All right, Ant, we got to talk about another rookie, but first, you got to read for us.
Yeah, guys. August 26th is officially FanDuel's Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling for your MVP, eyeing a long-shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champion before Week 1 even kicks off, this is your moment. So go take a flyer on the MVP race or crown your champion right now in August. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning for your future bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game.
Guys, if you want to bet on Dillon Gabriel's stat line against the Philadelphia Eagles this weekend, you can find it on FanDuel. We're going to give our realistic expectations for Gabriel right now. But first, before we do that, it's worth mentioning, guys, that Nathan Zegura was on with Ken and Lima this morning on The Fan. And he said that Dillon Gabriel will be a game-time decision on Saturday, despite the fact that he went through all the 11-on-11 and 7-on-7 competitive drills in Thursday's joint practice. Jason, I'll start with you. Would you be surprised if he doesn't play?
Yeah. I mean, I would, because I would ask, I say, well, wasn't he getting like reps last week against the Panthers where he was still practicing, right?
Yeah, he got a few reps.
Yeah.
So, okay, you got some reps, first team reps then, and your hamstring is progressing. And they came up and said that, you know, him and Dillon Gabriel, Shedeur and Dillon were going to probably play this game. And Stefanski said it was always kind of the plan to get one of them to start and then to get the other one to start. Yeah, I'd be super surprised because I'd be like, well, he practiced this week. There's been no reports of any setbacks. So why, I don't know why he would not be playing, right? Like, I don't know if it's a health thing but this is a golden opportunity, man. This is slowly but surely turned into a thing where, okay, no disrespect, but Joe Flacco probably ain't going to play, right? Not this game.
He's not playing.
No.
And if he don't play this game, does that mean he's probably not going to play next game?
No, he will.
He's probably going to play next week, yeah.
So that means Joe Flacco played a little bit. We haven't seen Kenny Pickett yet. We haven't seen Dillon Gabriel yet. So the only quarterback that has taken any meaningful snaps in a preseason is Shedeur Sanders. And it's like, well, hold on. Didn't we just talk about camp and getting ready to play and not going through the motions for the first 5 or 6 weeks? Y'all seen the schedule? Like, and they were, and Mary Kay talked about, they were getting them ready to play, start meaningful snaps. So I don't know, man. If it's a setback, he can't control that. But I would expect him to play, and I wish I could see him get an opportunity.
Yeah, I think it comes down to they feel like they can protect him a little bit more in these joint practices than you can in the game. We talked about that last week. You're not going to hit these guys. Obviously, they're fair game in a preseason game. I think that would be the only reason why he wouldn't play. If they're not 100% sure on the hamstring, then I see why you sit him. I think I'd be a little bit surprised if he sits. We'll see. You know, maybe something happened at practice yesterday while he was out there. But I understand why he could go in the joint practice and not necessarily you want to make him vulnerable in the game.
I look at it like this. We have heard so much about Dillon Gabriel from the people who are inside that Browns organization. Supercomputer, absorbs information so quickly, processes. I mean, they took him in the 3rd round after most draft experts didn't have him anywhere near a top 100 grade. And there are times where teams have drafted a guy higher than the projection. It has worked out. It has also gone the opposite. But at some point, you have to see it. Because from all reports from practices that, I've been to 3. Jason, you've been to a few. Zach Jackson's out there every day. Mary Kay's been out there every day. Grossi, Darryl, Spence, all the people who are out there. I'm yet to see one person come out and just say flat out, yeah, Dillon Gabriel looks better and looks ready. And I'm not going off the numbers. I'm going off just simply what my eyes tell me. And it goes back to one of my favorite movies of all time. You guys have seen Step Brothers, right?
Yeah.
Jason, you've seen Step Brothers?
Yes.
The all-time classic. And Will Ferrell is apparently an amazing singer, but he can't sing in public.
Right.
He's scared to sing under pressure. Well, like, Dillon Gabriel may be terrific in the classroom. And he may be able to absorb playbooks in Chinese for all I know. He may be that smart. I really don't know. But none of that matters if you can't translate to an actual game situation. And it's great in joint practice, Jason, and it's great in 7-on-7 drills, and it's great when you can't get hit to watch the Browns roll out this funky-looking offense with Gabriel where they're running rollouts and changing and moving the pocket to help his shorter stature find throwing lanes. But does that actually work in a real game? I didn't know Will Ferrell could sing to the Catalina wine mix.
Right.
I need to see if Dillon Gabriel can play against the real NFL defense when the bullets are flying. I want to see him this weekend. And frankly, hearing Nathan Zegura, who's clearly tied into the Browns, dropped that nugget of information this morning. My gut tells me that on Saturday we're going to see 4 quarters of Tyler Huntley, which means I have 4 quarters of nothing to look forward to on Saturday. It would be a devastating thing for my own personal entertainment.
Yeah.
I want to see Dillon Gabriel. Maybe he's Will Ferrell.
I mean,
Maybe he's me trying to sing.
We talked
I don't know.
We talked about yesterday. Every snap Tyler Huntley takes is a wasted snap. He's not going to be here. So it does feel like it's a lost opportunity if Dillon can't. I mean, it's no fault. He can't control it if he's hurt.
Yeah, let's preface this.
If
he is hurt,
he's hurt.
He
Don't
hurt.
play.
It is what it is.
Don't
He
play.
cannot
Yes.
play.
Well, that's
Yes.
the only reason he wouldn't play.
Yeah.
Is if it's the hamstring.
I would assume, but I'm just going off what
Are you saying that they are hiding Dillon?
Oh Lord. in
No,
heaven.
Gee, are you reading the chat right now? 'Cause that's all they're saying.
I didn't say that. I just was asking rhetorically. He said, "Well, he's asked him if he's hurt. If he, what other way would you?"
Hang on. What did you say? Ant, what did you say?
I said, is he reading the chat right now? Because a lot of the chat said the same thing.
Yeah, I'm not in the
Jesus
chat
God
right now.
heaven. Why would you hide him? Like, does anyone have critical thinking in their life? Cut him. If you're going to hide him, then cut him.
Cut him, yeah.
They're
Yeah,
not
if
hiding him.
if
He's
he can't-
hurt, guys. He's got a bad hamstring.
If he can't play and he hurt,
Golly.
he hurt. It is what it is.
But you get what I'm saying about wanting to see it, though. Like we've heard so much about it. I just want to see it. I'm disappointed. I understand if the hammy's not good.
If
Of
But I
course.
wanna see
Everybody
it.
wants to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right, so let me ask you this question: Is there something on the planet? Is there any alternate universe where there's a possibility that not only Kenny Pickett but also Dillon Gabriel do not play in the preseason?
I'll lose my mind. if
Is
that's
there a world where that happens?
Yeah.
Because
Particularly for Kenny. Yeah.
to me, that is the worst thing that could possibly happen. Because then we go into the season, right? And we're still having this conversation about, okay, what's the pecking order?
Yeah.
Who's playing? Who are you getting ready to play? It's devastating. So the only thing that we have to go by, right, is, all right, well, let's see what you do in these opportunities, these preseason games. And if you don't see Joe Flacco all that much and he starts, you still have no clear picture as to which one of these guys is going to be better, more equipped, get the first reps. It's a hodgepodge of still 4 quarterbacks with no pecking order.
I would suspect if Dillon can't go this weekend, he would absolutely be able to go next week
I would
against
hope.
the Rams.
I would hope.
Pickett, I think, is a different conversation. He may still be.
Yeah.
That may be where he misses all 3 preseason games. It seems like his is a little bit more severe. The Pickett thing's been weird because at first I heard like grade 2, grade 3 strain, and then it was he's recovering faster than we thought, and now it's actually it probably was that because he just hasn't progressed to the point where he's been able to return. So it's unfortunate, man. It's frustrating because these guys want to be out there. Kenny knows this might be his last chance to claim a starting job.
And I want to preface that too. Like, here's the thing, guys. We say a lot of different things, but these dudes, it's different. They got families. They got people dependent on them. This is their career.
Yeah.
You don't think they understand this is a great opportunity in front of them?
You don't get to that level of a professional sport without being a competitive SOB.
No.
For example, we're sitting here for 40 minutes before today's show, and we considered going home and doing a remote show. Mm-hmm. You guys can't see back there, but we have our MMJ camera and all of our remote headsets that we were about to go live on.
We was going to go upstairs for a minute.
We're going to go upstairs and do a remote show from 3 different rooms upstairs. I'm getting angry and frustrated, not at anyone in particular, but because we got a lot of stuff that we want to talk about today.
Right.
I don't want just the radio station or the other radio station or the block. Like, I want y'all to hear our opinion. Like, I'm competitive in that sense, and there's no there's competition, but it's not like we're fighting over one spot. Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, Short Sanders, and Joe Flacco are fighting over legitimate playing time in the NFL. Those dudes are all elite psychopathic competitors. Some show it differently because there's the Ray Lewis level of competitiveness that's different than the Peyton Manning level in terms of how they show it, but they're equally as competitive.
Yeah.
And to think anyone will be willingly,
Nah.
hey, I'm scared. I don't want to play because I'm scared of the results.
Nah.
That's not happening here. I just know I don't want. Steve, camera me, please. I don't want to watch 4 quarters of Pro Bowl quarterback Tyler Huntley.
I don't want to watch one quarter.
Yeah,
Frankly, I don't want to watch one snap, and it has nothing to do with Tyler Huntley. It's just that it does nothing to benefit the future of the Browns.
Right, and even Joe, let me tell you something right now.
We did 104,000 on the Shador Sanders postgame show. Tyler Huntley starts all 4 quarters. We do 10.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know you get to that.
Come on, man.
I don't think we'll do 10.
Yeah, you do 10.
I don't think so. If it was just Tyler Huntley,
You do 10. All you need is a good thumbnail.
the Browns.
Let G write it.
You want a title?
You ready for the headline? Here's your 10,000.
What the media is not telling you about Tyler Huntley.
No. Here's the headline. This gonna piss y'all off. I'm sorry, and we're not gonna do this.
We're not going to do this. I didn't come up with this.
Did Tyler Huntley play well enough versus Philly to put Shador Sanders on the chopping block?
Oh my God.
Woo, G. Bush.
Oh, listen, that
Tyler Huntley hunting down Shador Sanders.
listen, that first of all, I would have to leave that stream midstream once I found out what the thumbnail is. I didn't co-sign this move. No, or you could do the exact opposite. Is Tyler Huntley now is this going to cause Kenny Pickett to get cut? Or Dillon Gabriel to get cut, right? You can mix it up a whole lot of different ways. But here's what I will say there. Even Joe Flacco, listen, he did a whole long interview with Aditi and said, look, man, I want to play, man. Like, Joe Flacco want to play in this game.
Oh,
yeah.
He probably telling, hey, listen, I need these reps. I need them.
I know, and we got super chats. The last thing, real quick, but and Mary Kay just reported that Cleveland.com has heard from the NFL. The NFL is investigating and reviewing the Isaiah Bond sexual assault case, even though he won't be indicted. Just a heads up. So that is happening.
Oh, they got 2 docket cases ready.
Through the NFL.
they should just open a bureau in Cleveland.
Do you think, though, real quick, because we got super chats, is there any chance Joe Flacco sees a snap if Gabriel can't play, just so it's so he gets
No.
No, you can't risk your plan. They have a plan in place, and you don't jeopardize that for the regular season. If Tyler Huntley has to take every snap, then Tyler Huntley has to take every snap. So be it.
I want to see Harold Fannin as emergency quarterback if that's the case. And super chats. Let's get to it before we head over to KYC.
Yeah, guys, we're going to start here with Shalomates? Hope I'm pronouncing that right. It says, go blue. You think Bond can be a wide receiver too this year?
No.
Who's on the roster?
He's got. I haven't seen it.
He's missed all of camp.
Tillman.
No, that
He's missed all camp. He's
Yeah.
probably facing a suspension of some sort.
Yeah, no. They still got Tillman and some other guys.
Yes.
Possibly.
70.
I shouldn't say probably. Possibly facing a suspension of some sort.
Yes, allegedly.
All right, next up, guys, we got Miss Bell 70. Speeding without a checkered past is the real problem.
Okay.
Next
All
up
right.
is Charles T. So-called good character have blown up on the Browns just as much. Not a good argument. If they are found innocent, treat them as such.
Okay.
Kirk Davis. So, Jason, are you saying we can't give second chances because we're the Browns? It's already tough enough for people to get a second chance in life. I think it's a good thing that the Browns are doing. What if that was you?
Let someone else give them a second chance. There's 31 other teams they can give them a second chance. The Browns have exhausted their second chances, and they haven't turned out well. Why does it have to be the Browns that takes a second chance on most of these guys? Why them?
Maybe they have a good heart.
Yeah, that's it. I'm sure that's it.
Charles T. also says he was an undrafted free agent, so yes, it's worth the squeeze. There was no squeeze. They didn't draft him. If he balls out, it was genius. If he doesn't, it was who cares?
Yeah, it is a low risk move considering the money. It's not a much investment at all.
Next one from Shalom again. The Browns still have good character guys like Samson, Shador, D-Hop, and others who have good Christian values. They also acquired Jameis last year. Then from Christopher Robb.
There are good people. There are good people on
Oh, there's
the
a
side.
ton of good dudes in that locker room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with the people that are in the locker room. Like there's great individuals all over the place. Like so there's no stain on them. Like
Sorry. Ready. Christopher Robb. Didn't Shador ask Deontay for number 2? Now Deontay is in jeopardy of losing his roster spot with the eventual signing of Bond. God's plan.
No, he asked.
it was
D-Hop. Johnson's wearing 16. I think it's DeAndre Carter,
DeAndre Carter.
DeAndre Carter.
That's number 2.
who is going to be their kick returner.
And Shador wants 21 backwards which is 12, and he did a good job of making everybody get a new jersey.
Yes.
So yeah, he's marketing.
And then Miss Bell says, yes, let's hide the not-so-good golden child in reference to Gabriel. And lastly, Joseph Silver says, shout out to Jason, G. Bush, and McNuggets. Earl, I guess we can go home.
That was
Have a good TV show, guys.
There's one other piece of information. The Northeast Ohio Trans blog, which has been all over the stadium update, just tweeted out, the Browns' new stadium denied ODOT aviation permit. Appeal or stadium redesign are now options.
Wait, does this mean that the stadium is not going to be like effective because of the airport being right there? Like, are they not going to be able to fly over
I'm just going to read the headline one more time. There's the tweet. Steve, don't zoom in on it because I can't zoom in and read. Once again, the Northeast Ohio Transportation blog. New Brown Stadium denied ODOT aviation permit. Appeal or stadium redesign are options. Daryl Ryder, then who's been all over this, quote tweeted it, said, this is bizarre. The FAA had no issue with the stadium design. I'm told the Browns have been working with ODOT officials to address their concerns and hope this issue will be resolved. But as of right now, their stadium permit denied by the ODOT aviation crew. Stay tuned because that makes things a lot more interesting in the Brook Park development. We got to head over to KYC. You can find us in 3 minutes on WKYC or the WKYC Plus. We appreciate you sticking through us via some technical difficulties.